Hello, my loves. This is Heidi Hancock with your weekly oracle reading for October 12th to the 18th. Let's begin with our eyes closed. And we're just going to tune in really quick because the energies are so crunchy. So just bringing your attention to your breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the mouth. Just calling yourself into the present moment, which we're really kind of fighting to get out of right now. And then we're calling our higher self, calling our connection to spirit from above our crown, pulling that down through the crown of our head, through the third eye, the throat, down into the heart, and imagining a hook on the end of this cord, like a fish hook. And then sending your energy down into the core of the earth, connecting in with our Earth Mother, the wisdom that she offers. Feeling her respond and bringing that energy back up through the layers of the earth into our feet, our calves, our knees, our thighs, and up through the lower chakras, hooking onto that hook from spirit in the heart. So it's like two hooks attaching and connecting and hanging on each other, pulling on each other, bringing our wisdom, our spirit, and our attention into our heart, into our passion and our desire. And then just imagine a duster or a broom clearing out the back of our heart space and moving in full circle around to the front, all the way around to the back again. Just sweeping any dense, heavy energy and allowing that to drop down and out our feet into Mother Earth, allowing her to grab that and recycle it. Taking another breath in. And then opening your eyes. Whew! The energies are so intense right now. I felt like we needed to start with a little bit of grounding. I've been seeing that image the last couple of weeks with individual clients, that sense of this hook in the heart from spirit to earth. And it feels like, at least in the spiritual community, we've been aware of this connection to our higher self, higher wisdom for a long time. And so the sense of the upper chakras being open is more available, but the lower chakras are really dense and heavy. And it's like we've forgotten the wisdom of needing to connect with our Earth Mother and with the wisdom that she holds and that her plants, animals, minerals, ancestors, that they all hold to bring up and clear those lower chakras out to connect in our heart. So remember, we have the energy of the destroyer for October, and that is very much here. There's, the clearing out and then the bringing in of the new, but the old has to be destroyed before the new can come in. And so what I'm feeling today, and this really uncomfortable energy, is like the old and the new are sitting right on top of each other, and they're layered, and it's like we can see the old and we can see the new simultaneously. And there's part of us that knows, okay, we're going towards the new, but this old thing is still here. So I forget, it was several weeks or months ago, I talked about the fact that we were like straddling the timeline, straddling the old and new, and now they've overlapped. And so instead of the feeling of one foot in either world, we have both feet in both worlds at the same time. And so it's kind of muddy, like quicksand a little bit. And, it's like we want to step into the new, but as we step into the new, we come up and the gunk from the old is on our feet. And so it's like, which is which, right? And I've been feeling this energy personally. I'll just give you an example of it in clearing out my home and reorganizing and kind of redecorating, repurposing. It's like I can see that there's spaces in my home that don't serve the purpose that we need them to anymore, and we've evolved, we've changed, so our space needs to change. And so there's a lot of repurposing energy. It's like we're not necessarily getting rid of everything that's old, but we are repurposing what's there, and things that maybe, you know, we bought or we were given that have a lot of reverence, but they haven't been given a place in our home to highlight that reverence. So we're repurposing, repositioning things that need to be highlighted and need to be evolved, and space needs to be given for those things. And then we also have to get rid of the old thing. And remember, for October, I talked about this container energy and the lid being on, right? So it's dark in the lid and we're alone. And so it's like even the joy and the excitement of repurposing a space, right? We have that joy of the new world, the new earth coming in, the new timeline. It's like we have that. And at the same time, in order to repurpose and rearrange, right, you have to deal with the old that was there before. And a lot of it has to get let go of. And so it brings up a lot of emotions around the memories and the attachments to those old things and why we had them or what was happening in our life at that time. And so it can bring up a lot of trauma and just shedding, dense grief, old energy, crying, letting things go. And it's like our spirit can see the new and is excited about that, but our body holds, our body is the living library of all of our experiences. And so the body holds the memory of the trauma of whatever was connected to these old things that are uncomfortable. And so as these energies are sitting on top of each other, it's like we're having the experience of the new and then the trigger of the old trauma, and it's coming up through, and it's like, well, which one is me? Where am I going? How am I getting there? And the picture of where we're going isn't totally clear. So we can see bits and pieces of it. We can see like an outlined frame. And what that's creating is this energy. I keep seeing this vision of a horse behind a gate. It's like we're all dressed up and nowhere to go. Or, we're ready for the race, but we're being held back by this gate. Super uncomfortable. So I've noticed in my own body this like excess of adrenal energy. And it's like I've had a bunch of coffee, but I haven't. And it's that desire to like move into that new timeline and to get there. But there's this space of learning and letting go that has to happen before we get there. And so it's like, to use that redecorating energy or that analogy again, if you bring in a bunch of new stuff and you rearrange it and you make it all like you want it, you're still going to have old stuff that has to be dealt with. It has to be given away or sold or, whatever, to clear it out of your space. And so we have to deal with that energy and what's so uncomfortable. And I feel like it's designed that way on purpose so that we don't skip over the lessons that those old crunchy parts of us that are ready to let go of hold. If we were just easily get rid of it, magic, wave our wand and it's gone, then we wouldn't have to move through those dense energies that caused us to bring that thing into the home in the first place, or we're connected to this old energy. So it's a lot of both and right now. The feeling of like, okay, I'm ready to go on vacation, but you're not going anywhere, or not for a while. So really crunchy. I've been watching the show, The Home Edit, I think it's called Get Organized by The Home Edit. And they have this saying in there, which is so perfect for this time. You can either have stuff or you can have space, but you can't have both. And that's where we are right now. And it's like, the new timeline, the new energy has more space in it, but we are used to having it filled. And so we want the space, but we're attached to the things that were filling the space before, that were keeping us from feeling the discomfort of the space. If that makes sense. It's like, it seems counterintuitive, but sitting with emptiness, sitting with space is uncomfortable. And we fidget and we don't know what to do with ourselves, and there's that kind of energy. So let's see what the cards have to say here with all of this. Whew. A lot. Okay, it's this one. Oh, I love it. I love it. The healer. How perfect. Wow. Wow, that's great. Look at, and it's like the 3 snake heads and these 3 little dots in the egg. That's interesting. It's like the upper chakras, the lower chakras meeting in the middle of the heart, the body, the mind, the spirit, the trinity. So let's see what this has to say. The healer. Oh, I love it. The light worker, the gifted, the old soul. Though some claim the work of the healer as their gift and name it as their dharma, the force of this archetype is within everyone. It is our natural inclination to remember, to return to, and to reclaim that central and eternal life force from which we so easily drift away. In Sanskrit, the word avidya means forgetting, and it is said that this is the source of all suffering and dis-ease. The healer's mission then becomes to move through the comfort of forgetting. The healer's mission then becomes to move through the comfort of forgetting, through the veils of ignorance and denial, to reveal the radiance that already exists. The healer approaches this in multiple ways from multiple angles, knowing the cycle of healing is not linear. It is a multi-layered and circuitous process, always leading back to its own origin, much like the Ouroboros. That's the snake eating its tail. Wow, this is perfect. So the veils of ignorance and denial, that is the lower energy. That's the old timeline. The comfort of forgetting, the old timeline. And to reveal the radiance that already exists, which is the new timeline, the new energies that are coming in. And it's like those 2 are sandwiched on top of each other. And the radiance really is already here. It already exists. And the old thing, I said this months ago, is already dead, but we're sitting with it. It's like a corpse that's living inside of us, and we still have to sweep it and clear it and clean it out of our space. When light, self-contained, grateful, awake. When dark, tired, needy, forgetting its own practice. Oh, that is it right there. Forgetting its own practice. This came to me this weekend. Like, I do this shit for a living. Okay, folks, I do intuitive healing work. I do channeling work. And I learned a long time ago that it is very important for me to be on top of my self-care so that I can be present, available, and, a healthy instrument for the healing of others. And, but even us, people who do this work, forget sometimes to take care of themselves. And, it's forgetting its own practice. And this idea also that we are all healers, whether you know it or not, whether you're aware of it, whether you're using your tools, even if you don't know what those tools are, to your highest capacity. And, but that's part of the unveiling right now, is that we're learning that we're all healers, and that we all need to use the power of the Trinity, the body, mind, spirit, and be keeping all points of that Trinity clean and clear. The image of the serpent is eternally tied to healing and medicine, both Western, the caduceus, and Eastern, kundalini. Study the serpent and its power. The wounded healer is not someone who was wounded and is now healed. It is someone who continues to courageously break open the self and ego as a means for deep integration. That is exactly it. It's like the self is the self is the new and the ego is the old. And we're breaking those chains. We're breaking that pattern. When I got divorced 11 years ago, and I felt like the image that I would always get is that I was breaking out of a cement cloak and taking these old patterns, this old, heavy, dense energy, and letting it fall away. And in many ways, that's what we're all doing right now on a collective. We've got a couple weeks before the election. It's like, all of us are in anticipation. That's that horse behind the gate energy. We don't know what's coming. We don't know how it's going to unfold. My sense is that the energy will shift afterwards regardless. And remember, we are in Mercury and Mars retrograde right now. Mars being action, Mercury being communication, travel, language, all of those things. So with those both retreated, we can have all these ideas of where we want to go and what we want to do, but without the energy supporting us to move forward. So blessings. It's a jungle out there. Take care of yourself, self-care, move the body, do your meditation, all of those things, and touch in whenever you need to. Always available for individual sessions for new clients. So if you need some support with that, please don't hesitate to reach out. All of that's being done on the phone now, and all the sessions are recorded for future. Women's Circle is this Thursday at 7 p.m. Via Zoom, 7 p.m. Pacific. And that's all for this week. All right. Take care. Namaste.